Hey, what's up, sports fans, and welcome back to Warriors Den for Rival Talk. That's right. Kind of might be a working title right now, but kind of discussed a little bit with Marcus about the name. But I figure Rival Talk maybe could be something we could stick with because me being a Seahawks fan, him being a lousy Niners fan, kind of works out that way. So we're gonna give it a shot, see if it sticks. And speaking of Marcus, it's been a while. It's good to talk to you again now, Marcus. So how have you been, huh?
Oh man, you brought me out of hibernation. Does that mean football has started again?
Well, I guess some crazy things have been going on in the football world. Not named Deshaun Watson, so we don't need to get into that.
Yeah,
but
maybe we'll stay away from that one for now.
Yeah, it's probably best we stay away from that. But yeah, I mean, free agency obviously happened, so that's what we're here to talk about today. Free agency was a lot happened in free agency. I mean, every year a lot happens, but I feel like this year a lot of the landscape really changed.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll just go over some things. We'll go over pretty much every team, but we're not going to discuss every team. But I mean, every team made at least one or two good moves. So even if it took longer for some others to make moves, looking at you Seahawks. But yeah, so we'll start right away. The Arizona Cardinals. I know how you felt about Cardinals and Cliff Kingsbury, but they might be for real this upcoming year. Signing J.J. Watt after he was released, so that really shores up that defense. They re-signed Robert Alford. They re-signed Marcus Golden. They brought in A.J. Green as well. They traded for Rodney Hudson. They signed Matt Prater. Cardinals seem to be going for it.
Yeah, and they have Chandler Jones coming back from injury, and Patrick Peterson, I don't believe, is that big of a loss for them. So overall, they've gotten much better this offseason.
Yeah, so
obviously is not good.
Nope, this NFC West is going to be insane next year, to say the least. Hopefully, though, you're right about Cliff Kingsbury. He's not more than a 8-9 win. He's just another Jeff Fisher, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, I still believe that to be true, but there's at a certain point where extreme talent can mask bad coaching, and I don't know that the Rams ever had anything near extreme talent when they had Jeff Fisher.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah. Then we got the Baltimore Ravens. They signed their big signing was signing Kevin Zeitler for 3 years. That's a good addition for their offensive line, shore up that run game for them. They did obviously release Mark Ingram, but J.K. Dobbins and who's the other guy? There's one other running back.
Now I'm forgetting. Well,
yeah.
Yep, I can't remember.
Yeah, J.K. Dobbins is the main guy, I'm pretty sure. Though, so.
Is it Gus Edwards?
Gus Edwards, yes. Gus Edwards will be the change of pace, but Dobbins will be taking over now, probably. And
he'll probably be a top 5-ish running back next year, actually.
Possibly. And they're still waiting to sign a receiver. I think Lamar might be expressing some frustrations like Russell out here with the line. I think Lamar's starting to voice his frustration with not having any receivers, so we'll see if they can bring a receiver or two in here the later days of free agency. And we got the Bills. The Bills have made a couple good moves. They signed Jacob Hollister. I think, obviously I've seen him more. He probably is an underrated tight end. He does have some good hands, makes some tough catches. So I think that's a good pickup for them. And he did play with Josh Allen at Wyoming. So, get that band back together there. Yeah. So that might be a good connection reborn there in Buffalo. They did cut John Brown, but they did sign Emmanuel Sanders. That might be a bit of an upgrade, I think. I know Sanders is getting up there in age, but I think that might be a bit of an upgrade because John Brown really is more of a speed guy, I feel like. So the biggest signing.
I love Emmanuel Sanders, actually. He's kind of a stabilizing presence for a wide receiver group. The Niners, when they traded for him in 2019, their receiving corps totally changed when they got him. Even though he wasn't super productive, he's just a really good vet to have around, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely. That'll help out Josh Allen and that whole receiver squad. Mm-hmm. The biggest move they made, though, was signing the Nickelodeon MVP, Mitchell Trubisky. So, the Bills win a Super Bowl next year like I think they will. Mitch is getting himself a ring. So he'll go from MVP to having a Super Bowl ring.
And, I mean, he's going to make a great backup in this league at the very least. And it's possible he could get a few starts under his belt if Josh Allen gets hurt. He runs a lot and
that's true,
totally revamp his career. So it's a good move on his part. There's no doubt about it.
Definitely.
I actually wanted him to be the backup in San Fran. With all our injuries, I thought he'd be a pretty quality backup. So
definitely, anything would be better than Mullins.
Yeah, he's gone.
Then we got the Bears. Obviously, they got rid of Trubisky. They franchise tagged Allen Robinson. He's probably not too happy about that. They thought they were getting Russell Wilson, but they ended up with the Red Rifle instead, Andy Dalton. So that's a good little trade off.
Dalton versus Foles, is that what we're looking at right now for that quarterback battle?
I believe so, but it's the way it sounds like. It sounds like Dalton's going to be the starter. So, yeah, got to feel for Chicago Bears fans.
Unbelievable. I'm pretty sure a few defensive players have expressed frustrations and asked for trades. So, I mean, I don't think anybody's happy there right now, nor should they be. And
nope, not
they just
at all.
let Kendall Fuller just go for no reason, and the Broncos picked him up. It's like, I don't know what they're doing, quite honestly.
Yeah, that's $1 million question. What are the Bears doing? Because they also released Kyle. Yeah, like you said, they released Kyle Fuller like that. They signed Desmond Trufant. He hasn't really done much in the league. I still, because he's a UW guy, I still feel like he's solid at least. But yeah, letting go of Kyle Fuller, that was a head scratcher.
Yeah.
Bengals haven't really done anything too notable. We don't need to talk about them. Browns. Oh, the Browns. I thank the Browns for what they have done to the Rams defense. They took away two very critical defenders in that secondary by signing John Johnson III and Troy Hill. So taking those two out of L.A., I'm very happy they did that. And that's given the Browns, man, that defense. Right now, if you ask me today, I say the Browns are winning the AFC North.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say. Pretty close to winning the AFC itself, I would say. But
definitely,
yeah, you're definitely right. I can't pick any other team right now.
Definitely. Outside of that, they haven't really made any other moves. They did sign they signed Takkarist McKinley as well, Tack McKinley. So another defensive move that they made. They're good. So that they really shored up that defense. So Cowboys.
I think they're one of the teams that they didn't really need to do a whole lot. They just kind of need to develop what they got and add some pieces here and there, and that's what they did.
They definitely did that. So good days coming for the Cleveland Browns. The Lions, the biggest news, they traded for. I think we talked about the last episode after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, obviously traded Stafford to the Rams, so thanks for that, Detroit. They cut a lot of people.
Yeah.
They cut Desmond Trufant, Justin Coleman, Jesse James, Chase Daniel, Danny Shelton. They cut, which surprised me, and him being a local kid out here, I'd like to see the Seahawks maybe pick him up and at least give him a chance to make the roster. And I have to thank the Lions, though. Even though they did give Stafford to the Rams, they did take Michael Brockers away from the Rams. So that's another thank you to the Lions for taking away from that defense, which is hilarious because I think did you see about what Michael Brockers said about Stafford over Goff?
Oh God, no.
So when the trade happened, he made a remark, alluding to the fact that Stafford is a major upgrade over Goff. And then he goes and gets traded.
Yeah,
he gets traded to Detroit. So a little awkward there, but.
Well, it's probably no different than when Jared Goff said something about Sean McVay's wife or girlfriend at the time, about 2-3 years ago. Yeah, can make some things awkward when you say things like that.
Yep, and look what happened. Goff got shipped out later on. So
there he goes.
Next, we got the Colts. Haven't done much themselves outside of trading for Carson Wentz. Fresh start for him, new number even, because Michael Pittman was giving up his number, which I don't blame him because it's not like Wentz has really done anything in the league. So,
nope.
They re-signed Marlon Mack, which I thought was surprising considering Jonathan Taylor and Naheem Hines, but they got a stacked running back room themselves, and they also re-signed Xavier Rhodes. The Jaguars, or should we call them the Jacksonville Seahawks? Obviously, they signed Shaquille Griffin. Look, I hate the fact that Griffin Bros are gone. It kills me, but
he got paid.
He did, and he got overpaid. I love Shaquille.
He surely did.
He's a great guy. I love him and his brother, but yeah, he definitely got overpaid. But good for him, getting the money, going back home as well. He's closer to home, so good for him. Carlos Hyde as well. They signed Carlos Hyde. I know Shaquem Griffin hasn't officially signed with them, but he's going to sign with them, obviously. Then they re-signed Sidney Jones. They signed Philip Dorsett, who was an amazing Seahawks receiver last year.
Wait, Sidney Jones, is he the Washington guy?
Yeah, he's from UW. He's the one that tore.
Good, and I really like. I think the Eagles drafted him. I really liked him at college.
It was horrible because he was one of the best cornerbacks in the country in college, but then his pro day he tore his Achilles, and it killed him. So,
God.
Yeah.
Has he been good in the pros at all? I haven't.
Not really. It's been tough for him to recover from that with Achilles.
I'm sure.
But hey, maybe in Jacksonville he can restart his career down there.
That's where everybody goes to revamp their careers, right?
Right. Yeah. Especially on the defense.
Yep. Yep.
Well, hey, Urban Meyer now. Who knows? And gonna have Trevor Lawrence down there. So.
Call me crazy, but I think that's going to crash and burn. That's just my guess.
It could happen. Oh, the Jaguars also signed Marvin Jones, so another weapon for Lawrence.
Not bad, actually.
It could happen. Look, I'm not that great when it comes to predicting quarterbacks in the NFL from college because I did say that a long time ago, once upon a time, I said Matt Barkley was going to have a better career than Andrew Luck. So I am officially on record now saying that. So I'm going to lose like 10 subscribers now. I've just totally lost all credibility. Yeah, so that didn't turn out well. So I'm not really going to get into who's going to be better, but I will say I might be jinxing by saying this. I think Justin Fields is going to have the better career than Trevor Lawrence.
Ooh.
So I probably just jinxed that.
Weirdly enough, I don't know why, but I really like him, and I don't know if I'm totally stupid for saying that, but I'm all in on the Mac Jones train right now.
He just had his pro today. I heard it went pretty well. Showed off his arm. The one thing about him, those Alabama quarterbacks, they don't have too much success, which is odd.
No, they never do. It is very odd. I thought Tua would for sure be. Obviously, it's very early, but Tua has not looked good.
Yep. All right, we're going to quickly skip over a few teams real quick, though. But the Chiefs, obviously, they cut half their offensive line, but then signed Joe Thuney and Kyle Long, so we'll see what happens there. Raiders, I don't know what they were thinking. They just dismantled their offensive line, which is one of the best in the league, but thank you for giving us Gabe Jackson. We'll get into that. Yannick Ngakoue they signed, obviously. So Chargers, they cut Trey Turner, cut Casey Howard. Haven't really made any big signings outside of Corey Linsley, of course, so it took away the Packers center. The Rams, obviously, we talked about the Stafford Goff trade. They signed Deshaun Jackson.
They brought back Leonard Floyd, which was big. I don't know how because they didn't have any money, but they did it.
But thankfully, like we've mentioned, they've lost some key defensive players as well, so that defense might actually take some steps back, which is good.
I think Deshaun Jackson could be a kind of decent signing for them. I don't know how healthy he'll stay.
I know. I thought he was going to be decent for the Eagles last year, but I think he's at that point in his career because he's a speed guy. Those hamstrings are starting to keep him
he might
out.
be done.
So,
That's true. So who knows?
The Dolphins haven't done too much. They cut Kyle Van Noy and allowed New England to go pick him up, which we'll get into that, obviously. They traded Shaq Lawson. They signed Will Fuller, so if that means anything, they'll get a good 5 or 6 games out of Will Fuller. They signed Jacoby Brissett and Justin Coleman, so Jacoby Brissett, maybe he could be pushing Tua, giving Tua some competition there. Vikings, their biggest move really was signing Patrick Peterson, which take that for what it is, if he's even anything of what he used to be. And now, we got to talk about this team because I guess the Empire is back, the New England Patriots. Boy, oh boy.
You didn't say Washington. You forgot about Fitzpatrick.
Well, so the way I have it set up on the computer, it's going alphabetical, so they'll be last.
Oh, okay. All right.
But yeah, so the New England Patriots, I guess they took their stimulus check and turned it into $60,000 worth of Bitcoin, I guess. So they re-signed Newton, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, though Newton has weapons now. They re-signed Justin Bethel. They did trade Marcus Cannon, but then they traded for Trent Brown. They signed Jonnu Smith. They signed Jalen Mills. They signed Nelson Aguilar, Kendrick Bourne. Sorry, Marcus.
I didn't like him. It's fine.
I seem to recall different.
Don't forget Hunter Henry. I'm a huge fan
Hunter Henry.
So
they're
back in the day, and I think that's going to be huge for whatever quarterback.
Yeah, that kills their both their fantasy values, but that's going to be huge for their 2 tight end sets. Re-signed Kyle Van. Well, not re-signed. They brought him back, obviously. Kyle Van Noy. And did I miss anything? They re-signed David Andrews. So yeah,
you say Juden? I think you said Juden, right? The edge from.
Oh yeah, Juden. Yep, they brought him in. So yeah, the Patriots. Bill Belichick, I guess, saw all the memes over last year, and boy, NFL World's going to pay for it, I guess, because it looks like the Patriots are coming back. Don't forget already all those guys that sat out last year on defense. So.
Oh yeah.
I just hope Cam Newton flops. If he can flop, then they shouldn't be any better than 8, 9, 7. But honestly, with that defense that's stacked now and the weapons, I can't see them losing less than 10 games.
Yeah, it was a lot of quantity and not maybe 80% of it was quality signings, but I really think they did a good job. And the Cam Newton thing was weird, and I did hear a few times that they called the 49ers about Jimmy Garoppolo, and we shut them down. So maybe he was their plan A. I don't know, but and then they went to Cam. So I mean, I could still see him drafting a quarterback at 15 or whatever they are. But also, Bill Belichick's not really a draft a quarterback in the first round kind of guy. So I have no idea what they're going to do.
Nobody ever does, but they seem to figure it out. All right, Saints. Obviously, the big news: Drew Brees retired. So thank you, Drew Brees, for everything he gave the league over the last almost 20-some years. Wish he would have won another ring. Should have won a ring in 2019. Well, the 2018 season. Obviously, what happened there with the officials and that no call, but it's a shame he only won one ring. But it's still heck of a career, heck of a guy, heck of a player, and looking forward to seeing him on the Sunday Night Football in America. I think he's going to make a great analyst.
Yep.
Outside of that, they cut some guys. They cut Sanders, cut Jenkins. They cut their longtime punter in Morstead. They placed a franchise tag on Marcus Williams. They're rolling with either Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill. Sounds like they gave some sort of weird extension to Taysom Hill. But they're going to let those two battle out. They cut Quan Alexander. Please don't go back to San Francisco. But yeah, outside of that, not much there.
I think he's not very happy with us the first time, so he didn't want to leave. So I would highly doubt he comes back, but it'd be nice if he was cheap, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right. We'll come back. Well, it's alphabetical, but we'll come back to them. The Buccaneers. They're trying to re-sign Brown. They haven't yet, but they re-signed Levante David, franchise tag Chris Godwin, brought back Gronk, so good for them. I hope they crash and burn this year. The Titans.
They're trying to run it back, that's for sure. They're bringing back all their guys.
Yeah. And Washington football team got the legend himself, Ryan Fitzpatrick. So 9th team for Fitzmagic. Yeah, this is good for the football team. I think it's an upgrade. Definitely. I mean, anything's an upgrade over what's his name, Haskins.
Haskins.
Yeah. I'm not too happy with what they did with Smith. I feel like they kind of kicked Smith to the curb. I hope he gets another shot for one more chance. I mean, Smith doesn't have too much to prove anyways. He could go out on top with coming back the way he did. They signed Curtis Samuel, big pickup for them. Signed Lamar Jackson. And they did cut Thomas Davis, if he's even worth anything anymore in these days. Although I think he retired, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he actually signed in Carolina.
Yeah, that's right. Him and Greg Olsen both signed those deals and retired. So, yeah, there you go. Those teams. So now we'll bring it back up. We'll save the best for last, and we'll go with the worst for next to last. So, Marcus, the San Francisco 49ers.
All right. I'll give a quick overview just saying I'm pretty happy so far. Pretty happy to very happy. My top three before all this started that I wanted to bring back were Kyle Juszczyk, Trent Williams, and Jason Verrett, and we got all three of them. Juszczyk the fullback got 5 years, $27 million, which is highest paid fullback ever, but it's literally the same contract that he signed 3 years ago, just a $200,000 a year raise. So some of the things are misleading, saying, he got the huge contract. I mean, yeah, it's big for a fullback, which he said, but it's the same salary. We just brought him back. And Jason Verrett, huge. Loved him as a cornerback last year. Revamped his career. Was, I believe, a top 10 rated cornerback in PFF, whatever that's worth. I like Pro Football Focus. I like it and I don't. It's just a barometer, just like WAR in baseball.
Yeah, it's kind of like sabermetrics for me in baseball. I'm not a huge fan of sabermetrics. Like most of them, I don't like, but there are some grown on me. But yeah.
It's something that it's just another thing to use, that's all. And obviously the big one was Trent Williams. Huge. We needed him back bad. We just did. And great deal. I know he's the highest paid tackle ever now, or offensive lineman ever, but it was 6 years, $138 million, but it basically is 3 years, $60 million, or 4 years, $80 million. And then after that,
Is that one of those avoidable things? I'm really confused on what this whole. I've never really seen this. Like I'm kind of confused on.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. It's basically the first 3 years for sure are guaranteed. So basically 3 years, $20 million each. The fourth year is pretty much again another $20 million that can be voidable, and then the last 2 years it goes way up to like $30 million each. So I'm positive he's not going to be at this same deal those last 2 years. Plus he's already 32. This is basically a 3 or 4 year, $20 million per year deal. and I love it. He's elite right now, and he'll be elite for the next few years. And after that, we just see what happens. Besides that, Jason Verrett back on a 1-year, $5.5 million deal. I have no idea how we got him at that price. He was awesome last year.
Mm-hmm.
We signed our other starting cornerback back, Manuel Mosley. He's back, so I like that.
Jaquiski Tartt
2
too,
years,
right?
$8 million. Yeah, we just brought back Tartt yesterday. I thought for sure he was gone. I have no idea how that happened either. It's just we're bringing all these guys back. We got let's see, there's one more.
I'm seeing here too. You signed
DJ
safety.
Jones, our defensive tackle.
Jones,
he came back, so.
I'm seeing too. You signed Tavon Wilson, safety.
Yeah, backup safety, so that's fine.
Alex Mack
I like
also.
this. We got this guy Samson Ebukam from another defensive player from the Rams who actually had 2 sacks against us when we played him, so I'm guessing that's why. We probably liked what we saw and brought him in.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a backup edge player for the most part. He'll probably split time with whatever other defensive end is playing alongside Bosa. I think it'll be Eric Armstead on the first and second down, and then Ebukam on third and passing downs basically, and then Armstead moves inside on those downs. So that's probably what it'll be.
And then like I said, Alex Mack too. Alex Mack too, right?
What was that?
Alex Mack.
Yes, that was the last one on the list here. We needed a center bad, and we got one. The offensive line is basically a stable force now if they stay, as usual, if they stay healthy. Man, the most injured team. I read. I don't know how they figured this out, but some article I read said the Niners last year were the second most injured team in the last 2 decades. I don't really know how they figured it out. I'm surprised they weren't the first.
I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that the first was the 2008 Seahawks.
It very well could be. I only read enough to see what we were on the list, and I didn't really look into it after that. But so yeah, I'm actually pretty stoked about this offseason so far. Just today, we actually signed a defensive tackle named Zach Kerr.
Oh, okay.
Never heard of him, but I looked him up, and he was the 10th rated defensive tackle in Pro Football Focus last year. So I mean, I don't know. He had a better pass rushing grade than any of our starting defensive tackles. So I'm guessing he's going to be situational, but you can never have enough depth at defensive line.
So if I'm asking you, today, knowing the way the rest of the division is now, the Cardinals coming up, what's your projected win-loss now as compared to about a month or so ago?
Well, okay, like a month or so ago, I was pretty down on everything because we had all these free agents coming up. We just got done with a terrible injured season. I probably would have said 8-8, 9-7 before. I still am only going to say 10-6 right now because of the division is just stacked, and I'm still not sold on everybody staying healthy. I mean, last year just beat me down pretty good.
I mean, what happened last year can't happen again. Like that. Not that bad though. I mean.
I hope you're right, but I literally all my teams. I have such bad luck in every sport. It seems like that. I don't put it past any of them to disappoint me further.
Such is life.
Yep. So 10-6, I'm going max right now, and that's if everybody stays relatively healthy. And Garoppolo's got to come back strong. I still don't know exactly what we're doing at quarterback. I assume it'll be Garoppolo, but there's still things could happen still.
Mm-hmm. So 10-6 ceiling, so like a 6-10, 7-9 floor then.
I would say
healthy,
pretty close to a 7-9 floor with the current roster. If it's not very healthy, I think it's a pretty good roster top to bottom though. So I'm not gonna. I can't see it being as bad as this year unless we're just totally injured again.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
and like Matt said again, maybe that's me being defeatist, but yeah. That's what I'm
I'm a little bit in that zone right now with the Seahawks. So
yeah.
But yeah. Speaking of, yes. Okay, so if you follow me on Twitter, which you haven't yet, go follow me on Twitter. Those of you out there, Marcus, I know you're not a tweeter, but that's all right. Maybe I overreact a little bit at the start, just because the way everything's gone on this offseason, it's been just one crazy roller coaster, weird offseason for the Seahawks so far. Like, one day the sky is falling and everything's on fire. The next day everything seems to be rose petals and blossoming and stuff. So I don't know what is going on. I just don't care anymore. Whatever team we have come September is the team we have, whether Russell Wilson's there or not. It seems like Russell Wilson will be there for at least one more year. Who knows what's going on there? But today I'm just going to stay focused on the moves we've made. I'm not going to get into any of that other details because otherwise this video is going to be an hour long, and I don't need that. So the moves they've made. So we'll start with who they cut. They cut Carlos Dunlap, which ticked me off. I get why they did it, but they better bring him back. That's all I have to say. They better bring him back. Cut Josh Gordon. I know he went and played in that fan-controlled Bob Menery football league thing, whatever it was. And he actually did pretty well because, it's whatever it is. So who knows what goes on there. I hope he finds his way back in the league. I wouldn't mind if we could give him another shot. Greg Olsen retired. I mean, they technically in the transaction has cut Greg Olsen, but he retired. Then that's pretty much it for the cuts right now. The signings we made so far, we signed another Niners defensive back, Ahkello Witherspoon. I know you're not high on him. I've got some optimism for him because he is a 6'3" tall, physical cornerback, which will fit perfectly in the Pete Carroll system. Obviously, I'm not a Pete Carroll fan. I have my problems with Pete Carroll. Obviously, that's been made public, and we all know about that. But the one thing I will say is he is kind of a defensive back whisperer. So I think that could be an underrated good signing for the Seahawks. Speaking of which, you're talking about your PFF stuff. Looking it up, PFF when he was healthy and playing they had him rated as the sixth rated cornerback in the league last year. So you got you're talking about your PFF, but you're trying to tell me this guy isn't that good. So
no, okay. Let's just. I'm not going to tell you he's not good. We put him in situations to succeed last year, and the year before he got benched. I think it's just one of those things where I've just seen enough of him. But I will not sit here and say that he's not good or he has no talent, because he does. And he's definitely one that you could turn around, and I swear, if you guys have two lockdown corners and Reed and Ahkello Witherspoon, both former Niners, I'm going to be a little upset.
I was just going to come up with that. Like, we're looking at, if we can get back to the Richard Sherman, Brandon Browner days, but it would be in the form of two former Niner cornerbacks. That would be hilarious. I would love that. So.
Oh, can't wait,
yeah. Another big signing, which I think is underrated. I know he's not looked at as a big name player, but I think in the system, considering that Waldron's up here now, Gerald Everett, I think that's a great tight end signing for the Seahawks. I'm not too sure about his entire skill set, but I believe he is a pretty good blocker as well. So I think he's underrated with his hands as well. He can make some big plays, and like I said, with Waldron coming up here, bringing some of that Rams offense, they use their tight end. So I think we see a good combo between him and Will Dissly if Dissly can stay healthy there. We traded, finally, we addressed the offensive line, a need. We traded for Gabe Jackson, although now we only have like 3 or 4 draft picks this year, but whatever, I don't really care about that. Gabe Jackson did not give up a single sack at all last year, so that is huge. He's much better pass blocker than he is run blocker, so that's addressing right there what Russell Wilson was saying he wanted.
Is your interior line, is it Lewis, Toxic, Jackson?
Lewis, Posich, and Jackson. So we have probably what's going to be probably one of the best guard duos in the league, but I'm not too high on Posich. Posich is okay, but he gets lit up by Aaron Donald, which is the biggest problem. So we'll see if we'll see if the duo Jackson and Lewis can help with that. But outside of center, we're looking really, really good now. Dwayne Brown, I know he's getting up there in age, but he's still a dominant force. And we got Brandon Shell. He had a great season last year, so build upon that. So offensive line is shaping up this year, I think, to be the best it's been in a while. So the only question mark is center. Then re-signed Nick Bellore, which our fullback he's not a Kyle Juszczyk, obviously, but he's a good special teamer as well. So that's a good re-signing for the Seahawks.
He was a former Niner too. I actually liked him.
Yeah, so that's a good re-sign for them. And then big news, which shocked me because I wasn't expecting this. The Seahawks did re-sign Chris Carson on a pretty good deal, actually. That he didn't get as much money as I thought he was going to be looking for. So it's actually a pretty good deal. I was shocked. And this is where I got to say all those Russell Wilson rumors have to be squashed because Russell Wilson apparently was a key driver in convincing Chris Carson to stay. So you can't tell me if Russell Wilson wanted out, he would convince another player to stay. So to me, that just squashes all that talk right there.
I pretty much told you from the beginning that it was all BS, I guess. I never thought Russell was going to leave. I'm sure there's some
it got hairy
sort of hostilities, but and I never like to hear anything like that, no matter what it is. It probably got a little out of control, I guess. But he might have just been looking for a little bit of help or just a new contract. I don't know, but.
Mm-hmm. That's all the moves made so far. We're still hoping to re-sign KJ Wright. We need him back with that linebacker core, and hoping to bring back Hollis Dunlap as well. I'm looking for Seahawks to give extensions to Dwayne Brown, Tyler Lockett, Quandre Diggs, and Jamal Adams to free up some cap space, and then restructure the Russell Wilson contract. They don't need Russell's permission to do it. I would hope that, after seeing what Patrick Mahomes did in restructuring his contract, I would hope Russell, I hope Russell will do the right thing and agree to it. He doesn't have to agree to it though, anyways. So, but yeah. So, if I was looking at the Seahawks floor and ceiling, I'd say right now, just there's still so much I'm uncertain about. There's still a lot of talent, but I'm just uncertain about so many things because of this division. Right now, I'm saying their ceiling is probably the same as the Niners, 10-6. I got them at 10-6 ceiling, and floor I've got probably about 6-10. So. Right now, I'd say they're probably somewhere in the middle there, 8-8, 9-7, right around there. So
this is going to be a tough division to predict, I think, when
Definitely.
we do our annual.
And because it is a tough schedule too for the Seahawks too next year, so it's just all around. Yeah.
I feel like any team could be 10-6 pretty easily, even the Rams.
That's probably going to win a division, honestly. I know we said the Rams probably 12-4, 15-3, but because of this division, nobody in this division I think is going to win more than 3 or 4 games within the division. So.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
I almost completely agree with that. It's just going to be they're going to beat up on each other like the Big Ten basketball did, and then hopefully that doesn't mean that they're all going to lose in the playoffs.
Yeah, bring that up to see what happened. Nebraska has as many wins as most of the Big Ten teams, right? In the tournament.
We're actually tied for least amount of losses in the NCAA tournament with 0. So that's pretty.
But hey, Pac-12 coming up big, so we're totally getting off track.
I honestly can't even believe it. Maybe we save that for another show. That's unbelievable.
So there we have it. So that's Free Agents Frenzy. This video went quite longer than I anticipated, but you're not hearing us as usual every week, so. Let this get you through until around the draft time in about a month or so.
Draft time.
Yep.
I'll go back to hibernation until draft time. Just call me up.
Yeah, I will. So it was good to talk to you. Bring back the old days of what now is known as Rival Talk. So we're rolling with that, I think. Rival Talk. So,
can't wait. Can't wait for the season to start already.
Me neither. So let's get through baseball season first. So I might have to bring you on for that. So.
I actually think you know what? This year I think we might get held over by baseball a lot better than normal. So I'm pretty excited. For sure,
definitely. Yep. So, all right. Well, good to talk to you again. Take care, and hope you don't have to deal with 5 dogs again tonight.
I do until Sunday.
Oh gosh. All right. So a thought and a prayer for Marcus, please.
Just one of each. I got it. That's fine.
All right. Well, go deal with that craziness.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Talk to you soon. Bye. All right, yeah. So thank you to Marcus for joining us for this little offshoot video. Again, apologies. I try not to make these videos run too long. It's something I'm trying to work on to my viewers out there. I know you don't want to sit and watch a 38-minute video. Me blabbing on like this is going to make it longer, so I'll just shut up and let you get on with your day. But yeah. There you have it, Free Agency Frenzy. It was a madhouse. Lots of things have changed, and that's what we have for Rival Talk this time. So thank you for watching. Please like and share the video. Go follow me on Twitter and hit the subscribe button. And as always, go Hawks.